What's going on, Orlando Magic fans? Welcome to the Sixth Man Show Postgame Live, presented by Rockham. Rockham is the world's largest sock store. They're located in Orlando. Central Florida company. They make socks and underwear of some of your favorite teams, some of your favorite brands, socks and underwear, NBA, NHL, NFL, college sports, you name it. They've got all kinds of licenses and really fun things. So check them out at Rockham.com. I also would like to let you know that you can get 20% off at Rockham.com. You just have to use the code MAGIC20 when you do that. And that'll get you 20% off your order at Rockham.com. So definitely do that. Magic lose by a lot in Miami. Just did not have it tonight. Chat, how's it going? I'm producer Kevin. Glad you're here. I'm not 100%. I am very, very much under the weather tonight. This will be a little bit of a shorter one, which probably worked out because this game is not really worthy of a longer post-game live because that was pretty disappointing. It was interesting coming into this game. I should rephrase. Coming out of Sunday's game in Detroit, if you heard some of the interviews, some of the walk-off interviews, Franz said it. A couple other guys said it. Tuesday's a big game in Miami. Let's try and go get that big. This team knew how big and significant this game was. Just a reminder to everyone coming into this game, not only are you fighting with the Heat in the standings directly, you were just ahead of them by a game coming into tonight. You're also fighting for them for the tiebreaker. The Heat led the season series 2-1 coming into tonight, and now they have won the season series 3-1. So heaven forbid you end the season tied with Miami in the standings. Miami would then own the tiebreaker and pass you. So tonight, very big game, very disappointing from this team. Chat, how are we doing? Glad you guys are here. Let's see what the chat is thinking. Rom says Franz was checked tonight. Tough loss. Yeah, Franz, it's funny. I'm in a dynasty fantasy league where you have your team and you pick them for one game for the week. That's your game. Like you pick them one game, and however they do that game, that's the points you get for the week. And so my brain, I was like, I have Franz on my team. I was like, Franz is going to pick up where he left off on Sunday. You guys just watch. He's going to have a great game. Picked him tonight. L for me. L for the Magic, L for me. Yeah, Franz was definitely kept in check tonight. Dennis says, Cole Anthony watching Jimmy hit that dagger 3 really got under my skin. Listen, Magic somehow miraculously got it down to 10 points with like 7 minutes left or whatever that was. I'm just sitting here thinking there is no way this team is going to come back in this game. And they started to, but then Jimmy just... Isn't that a horrible, horrible feeling when you just get owned by someone you really don't like? Like the bad guy always wins, and Jimmy goes on an 8-0 run by himself, back-to-back threes. And then I think it was I don't remember what the last bucket was, a layup or a mid-range. I think it was a mid-range jumper. I don't remember anymore. Very, very disappointing. It's tough. Nathan says I'm here now because this game's over already. That must have been before the game was actually over. Nathan says, Cole has been in such a slump. It's wild. He cut his hair and lost all confidence. Don't forget, he was bad before the haircut. He had a couple bad games and one really bad game, and that's what prompted him to do that. But yeah, it's rough. It's rough. Janine says, tough loss. The guys looked to me like they were letting all the no calls affect their game. They were, one of the if there was anything funny tonight, the funniest thing to me was a call there in Miami that the fans didn't like. And their fans chanted, "Ref, you suck." On a night like that, when they had a very beneficial whistle or lack of a whistle all night long, their fans had the audacity to chant, "Refs, you suck." I thought it was hilarious. Very entertaining. Steven says, first half officiating was so one-sided until Coach Mosley let the refs hear it. Way to respond with a 21-8 run since that moment to close out the half. Yeah, that was good. Swordfish says, I'm so tired of this. Make a trade. Find a shooter. Well, guys, guess what? There's a chance. There's a chance that tonight is the last night we will see this iteration of this team. It's possible. I don't know for sure. I at this point I don't even know if I could put a percentage on it, what I would put, coming into this game, it's so funny. It's like we ride the highs and lows of the NBA season, and a front office isn't supposed to do that. Front office is supposed to have the big picture and all these kinds of things. But you have to wonder if the 3-game win streak, if the front office had plans for something different, 9 days ago, and they're like, okay, we're gonna have to make a trade. We need to do blah 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 blah, and then this team goes on a 3-game win streak, including beating Minnesota. Does the front office go, actually, you know what? I think we're good. I always wonder how much of a sample size the front office needs before they make decisions like this. I would assume a 3-game win streak is not enough to move the needle for them. However, let's say it was. Let's say earlier today, they're like, we're not trading anybody. We're standing pat. If they're like Magic fans after tonight, they're going, oh, we're trading everybody, So I have no idea what's going to happen between now and Thursday. But all I have to say tonight could be someone or someone's final game in a Magic uniform. It's going to be an interesting, 41 hours till the trade deadline. It is Thursday at 3 p.m. How's that for some quick math for you? Let's go. Oh, thanks, praises. This is good. He says, unless there's front office interference, I can't understand Moses' decision to play Cole over AB. It's tough because we all know, and Coach Mosley knows, and that whole staff knows, we know who Cole is or can be. We know what his game can be. And so somewhere there's a line of you want him to be able to play his way back into it, but at the same time, it's costing the team dearly. Tonight he ends up with 4 points. That's not Cole. That's not Cole. I don't know what he needs to snap out of it, but he's got to get something. I've missed a couple super chats here. I always interrupt. I stop everything we're doing for super chats. First off, we have Shahin says, rough game, but let's flush it out. Go Magic. Thank you, Shahin, so much for that. And you're exactly right. It's the beauty of the NBA. We got another one in 48 hours. Let's get it. Louis Rosario with a super chat says, no respect for Paolo with the foul calls tonight. There were a couple really bad ones. Really bad ones. You're right. Thank you for that super chat. Woof. Good grief. All right, let's see. Dennis says an AB sighting laughs to keep from crying. Yeah, referring to Dennis is referring to garbage time there when AB came in. Going back to the whole AB versus Cole thing, I don't know. I don't understand how AB is not getting meaningful minutes. I really don't. I'm right there with you. Maybe it is front office interference. Who knows? Chris says, my wife and daughter have the flu. I'm probably next, and the Magic get blown out by the Heat today. Could have been better, bro. I feel you on that. Yeah. Thanks, praise, and continue with this. And this is, again, I've said this many times on the show. It's the greatest mystery of the Magic this season. He says, Cole's decline is unbelievable. He went from 6th man of the year to interchangeable with a third unit overnight. Please do not forget that Cole Anthony, October, November, beginning of December, might have been even further into December, was elite bench production. Really good. But he cannot snap back into it for whatever reason. Yeah, Joseph says, whose last game in a Magic jersey was this? Exactly. Could be somebody. Or somebody's. Who knows? Blaze says, growth and patience with the Magic games like these is a learning experience. And once they get together, as time goes on, they will be better than ever. It's a fair point. Like, we talked about this when Miami beat us on what I still believe is the worst loss of the season, when we lost to Miami, in Miami, when they were down to 8 players and without Jimmy, Hero, Kyle Lowry at the time, a bunch of people. That's still the worst loss of the season, by the way. But what I was getting at was, we talked about it that night. Miami is just like the most veteran team in the league. I don't know if statistically that's true, but like you look over there. I know they got some random Joe Schmoes that are somewhat improvement. That's kind of the Miami way, right? But outside of that, they've got some. Kevin Love, that dude's like 94. You got Jimmy Butler, though he's not super old. He's older and he's very experienced. Maybe not so much anymore without Kyle Lowry, but lots of guys over there. That bench, when I say bench, sorry, I'm referring to coaching staff. Coaching staff, very experienced. Obviously, Eric Spoelstra, second longest tenured coach in the league with a single team right now. That's a lot of vets. There's a lot that can be learned from that team. You're exactly right. A lot can be learned. Solitary says they had no answer for Butler in that final stretch. Yeah, not a good feeling. Not a good feeling having your rival just daddy you like that. It was not fun. Karen says there's nothing to say. I'm right there with you. I'm not going to lie. It's rough. It's hard because I don't want to sit here and like rag on this team. Like it's an 82-game season. You're not going to be able to play your best every night. Some nights you're just not going to have it. Some teams play you better than others. Like, Miami's obviously a tough matchup for a lot of teams because of their defense. But this season we've not matched up well with Miami at all. And the combination of the end of the road trip and all the other things, it just wasn't happening, I guess, for the Magic tonight. We have a super chat from our dear friend, Ty, Mr. TV, says, on the bright side, we have Jam Hot Chicken. That's true. Jam Hot Chicken. Best chicken in Central Florida, period. I'm so excited. I get to have Jam Hot Chicken next Wednesday. I'm so popped. I'll be in Orlando for both home games next week. Got OKC on Tuesday. Knicks on Wednesday. Hitting up both of those. By the way, this is a good thing to bring up. A week from today is that home game against the Oklahoma City Thunder on TNT. And Shaq's jersey retirement. Okay. Because of all the things that are happening that night. So obviously the game, it's a later tip time. It's on TNT. And then the Shaq jersey retirement is after the game. And Jonathan, Luke, and myself are all going to be there. There will not be a post-game live next Tuesday night, just so you know. Okay. It'll be the only game we've missed this entire season. And it might end up as the only game we missed the entire season. We might end up doing 81 out of 82. But with all three of us being there, all three of us in the Shaq jersey retirement, and some other things that are happening potentially after the game, we're just not going to be able to do a post-game live. So just keep that in mind. I'll remind us again over the weekend, the next couple games. But yeah, next Tuesday, no post-game live. Maybe we'll like hop on Instagram live or something as we're walking out of the arena. I don't know. But as far as the official YouTube show, there won't be one. Another super chat from Luis Rosario says, crazy rule in that challenge. Yeah, wasn't that interesting? I didn't, like, my brain, once it happened, I was like, that is egregious. How do you mess that up? Once Dante clarified the rule, I was like, oh yeah, I forgot that is a thing. So it ends up being the right call. It's a weird rule, but it is the right call. I totally forgot that's a thing. Oh man. Captain Turk says, why do we let the Heat own us? Yeah, it's kind of like what I mentioned. It's just a veteran team. They play great defense, and we just don't have an answer. You beat zone, the best way to beat a zone defense is with shooting, and this is the Orlando Magic we're talking about. The Heat have the best zone defense in basketball and have for a long time. I hate the Heat, but Eric Spoelstra is an elite basketball coach. Like the fact that he takes some of the like most mudded rosters year after year, like some of those random Joe Schmoes, and turns them into key ingredients of a winning team. He's great at that. Dizzy says we need to beat the crap out of the Spurs to make up for that. Most frustrating game of the season. It's definitely up there as the most frustrating game to me. For me, I said this earlier, this is not the most frustrating, even the most frustrating game against Miami. For me, that first game in Miami, again, I just talked about it, that is the worst loss of the season for me, like by far, like not even close. The Memphis game was close, but that game, oof. Again, I hope if if we end up missing the playoffs by a game or whatever scenario you want to come up with by one game, it's going to be that Miami game, not this Miami game that I'll come back and circle to. Janine says, don't forget to hit the like button, you Magic Maniacs. Yeah, you crazy Magic Maniacs. Why don't you hit that like button tonight? Hit the like button for us. We'd appreciate it. Matthew says, this game was very pathetic. Package deal together, please. Yeah, I think a lot of people will be with you on that. I would be down for a deal. That is for sure. I think this team needs a shot in the arm. Holy. Interesting. Okay. Janine, I think it was Janine earlier. Someone said it. Yeah, Janine said feel better. Thanks, Praise said feel better. Appreciate you guys very much for that. Yeah, I was not on the show Sunday, not because I was sick, but I've been I have a very busy season in work in the last like 6 days, like 12 to 14-hour days every day for the last 6 days. But that's over now. So now I'm back, Postgame Live, the people I love on here. And then I'll be here Thursday and all that good stuff. So thank you guys. Appreciate that. I'm not sick. I'm just exhausted, but I get to sleep a lot tonight and I'm excited. Yeah, Matthew says Franz with 7 turnovers. Holy smokes. Yeah, we talked about it earlier, but Franz was clamped tonight for sure. I mean, and to Miami's credit, they played him really, really well. They did. Oof. Oh, Steven, yeah, I'm glad you said this. Markelle was awesome in the first half. Yeah, Markelle, the first, I don't know what it was, 2, 3, 4 minutes, he was pretty much invisible. And it was like, man, and that was when the Magic started really slow. Like, what was it, 11-2 start for Miami or something like that? I don't remember. They're like, man, Markelle is like invisible. We need something. And woof, he had that 3 in the corner. By the way, there was no hitch on that 3. It wasn't necessarily pretty. I mean, Markelle's shooting motion, except for the stuff at the very end of last season, it's never pretty from distance. Like, it's a very low release. It's not pretty. But there was no hitch, and he made it. Then he turns right around and has that high finish off glass. And then that next possession, he was just dancing around, doing all kinds of funny business, dribbling the basketball and laid it up and in. Beautiful play. He was great. Second half, wasn't a whole lot going on. Yeah, this is it. Yeah, Everett says Bam's holds and moving screens need to be pointed out as the league office. It's criminal that he keeps getting away with it. Bam Adebayo has gotten away with this for years and years and years. I don't know why he is he is just held to a different standard than everybody else. You're exactly right, though. He's done it every game for year after year after year. It's very, very strange that he's allowed to do that. Noel Ramirez says the Magic could be the worst team in the East, and the front office still wouldn't do anything. Here's the thing, guys. I still feel the front office is playing the long game, right? They're not going to rush into any move this year that's going to jeopardize our future. You know, this front office knows we're not winning a championship this year. Hate to break it to you guys, we're not. We want to make the playoffs. We want to do all those things. We're not making a championship this year. And the goal for this front office is championships. Like, they're not going to settle for these short-sighted goals of potentially ruining something to just have a good season, you know? Obviously, you can go too far the other way, and that's what you're talking about, Noel, and it's totally valid, you know? I know you're making a funny joke, but the point stands, you know? At what point does this front office make a move? You know, what would it take? Are they there? We'll find out. Find out in, what did I say, 47 hours? Now we're into 46 hours and 47 minutes. Look at that math on the fly. Let's go. David says, can we trade for a shooter, but how do you limit the turnovers? It's a mixed bag, right? Like, obviously, the team made mistakes, but Miami is a very good defensive team. They force turnovers, especially against this Magic team. But the Magic still should make better decisions, for sure. For sure. Nathan says, Franz went from tying his career high to this. Yeah. Not a great bounce back game. Not a great bounce back game at all. Alex says, did Coach not see him in Dallas? Like, what's going on? I'm assuming you're referring to AB. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what's going on with Anthony Black. It was mentioned earlier, maybe it's a mandate from the front office that other guys have to play instead of AB. It's possible. It's definitely possible. Are they showcasing other guys before the deadline? And once the deadline happens, there will be a spot opening up for AB to play more. It's very possible. It's very possible. I'm not going to sit here and say it's likely. It's hard to say what's likely with this front office, but I think it's definitely possible. Nick says 2 months without a good Cole game. Yeah, scoring the basketball for sure. Cole's had some good games outside of scoring and even efficient games, but it'd be like a 6.7 or 8 assist 7 rebound game. Like he's had stuff like that, which is a good game. It's fine. It's just not the Cole that we know and love, But you're right, 2 months since he like made a big impact offensively in a game. That sounds about right. Everett says the difference between Miami and us is they can shoot. It makes up for their lack of offensive playmakers. Yeah, it's true. Definitely true. A lot of guys that aren't household names, but it works because they make the 3 ball, Rough. Steven says 3-2 for the road trip. I'll take it. Just rough ending the trip with a blowout to our rivals. Yeah. You're right. I mean, on the whole, a 3-2 road trip like that is totally fine. Yeah, when I say fine, it's just fine. It's not good. It's not great. It's fine. When you think about the opponents that were on the trip, obviously you get the Minnesota win, which was expected to be a loss. Maybe you just flip-flop that with this Miami win. So all in all, a 3-2, or Miami loss, all in all, 3-2 road trip, it's fine. In 8 says, rough loss, man. This one stings. This win would have put us up on the standings. Yeah. Especially earlier in the night when the Indiana Pacers were losing to the Houston Rockets. It looked like the Magic could move all the way up to 6th if they beat the Heat tonight. Unfortunately, as you're going to see in a second, not only did the Magic lose to the Miami Heat, so too did the Houston Rockets lose to the Indiana Pacers. So lost a game on Indy and lost a game on Miami tonight. Not great. Not great. Eagle Fang, you see it. Good eye. It says lower cap Heat letters again. I've done it all 4 games this season. And if by some stroke of something we play them in the postseason, I will do it again. I will do it again. Oh, man. Wait a second. Never mind. I'm not going to read that one. Yeah, Ty says we need someone to jumpstart that can jumpstart our offense. That's what I'm saying. This team needs a not a huge shakeup, but something like stirred up. But the hard thing is with this team, guys, is this team has such good chemistry and energy that you don't want to risk ruining that, right? If you send off a guy that means a lot to the locker room, or you bring in a guy that can potentially mess up the locker room, those things can have a trickle-down effect to every other part of the team. So I'm not jealous of I almost called them Weltham. That's not a thing anymore. I'm not jealous of John. No, I got it wrong. I'm not jealous of Jeff or Anthony Parker or whoever else for the decision they have to make in the next 2 days. That's a lot of pressure. It's a lot of pressure. Yeah, Dennis says J.I. being hurt is scary every time. Yeah, even tonight, you got scratched in the face, and you're like, oh, gosh, is he going to be out for 3 months? It's funny. David says, great math. Thank you, David. I appreciate that. Work hard on my math. Thank you. Oh, man. Okay, guys, let's take a look at the box score here. Well, I'm just going to do box score and standings tonight, I think, probably. We're just going to cut a little bit short tonight. Franz, we already talked about him, 13 points, 7 boards, 3 assists, 2 steals. The non-scoring numbers, that's not bad. 7 boards, 3 assists, 2 steals. That's cool. We'll take that. But he goes 5 of 15 from the field, 1 of 7 from 3, and 7 turnovers. Yikes. Very forgettable game. You know what? Since I mentioned it earlier that I'm on a fantasy league, a dynasty fantasy league, I've got Franz on my team. And then I started Franz tonight. Let's see what Franz ended up for me. 20 points. Just so you know, that's not good. And the 7 turnovers, let me get the scoring breakdown here. It might be too early to get that. Yeah, it is. The turnovers are negative points. So 7 turnovers, that's just great. Thank you, Franz. Paolo, he's good. The thing with Paolo tonight, like he had to work. So, everything on offense was tough, but Paolo had to work really hard for his buckets. So for him to end up with 23, 9, and 7 on 7 of 16 shooting, 1 of 4 from 3, goes to the line 12 times, only 2 turnovers. That's what I put on the bottom line, that Paolo was actually pretty good. Like he worked really hard tonight. So I don't have any problem with Paolo tonight. Wendell, he ends up with 15, 6, and 3, but defensively, they were matching him with Bam. I don't even know what Bam ended up with. I don't think it was a ton. Yeah, 14. So on the surface, that's fine. But there were so many possessions tonight where I thought Wendell in other matchups with Bam, I thought he played him actually better than tonight, which I know is strange to say because he's scored many more points than 14 in other matchups this season. But a couple of just really bad buckets that were way too easy. I know he was in foul trouble, and a couple of those you just let him go because of the foul trouble. But I don't know. In a game like this, I feel like you just gotta go for it. Gotta go for it, especially when you're down by so much. Jalen, invisible tonight, 3 points, 1 of 6 from 3. Need more from him. And Markelle, we talked about him earlier, had that really good stretch of 7. I don't know if it was 7 straight points or 7 out of 9 or something like that. But outside of that, a very quiet night for him. Bench was horrendous tonight, absolutely terrible. I mean, you get 9 from Joe, 3 from Mo, 7 from Gary, 3 from J.I., 4 from Cole. Like, woof, you're not going to win a game. Not going to win a game like that. As far as team stats, Orlando does not win a quarter, so that's tragic. Points in the paint, you give up 58. Listen to this next one. You give up 27 fast break points. Heat led by as much as 26. You only get 28 bench points to their 41. You have 18 turnovers to their 13. Just got beat in every sense of the word. I guess I'll look at these scores. I wasn't going to do this, but really quick, we'll just fly through these scores. Interesting. Bulls are up 2 on the Timberwolves with 2 minutes left. As soon as I get off here, I'm going to watch the end of that game. This is the game that hurts right here. Like I said, the Rockets had a lead. I think it was early fourth quarter. Pacers, maybe it was late third quarter. Pacers came back, won the game. Knicks beat the Grizzlies. I know Jalen Brunson got hurt in that game. Obviously, I got right on here as that game was finishing, but we'll see what his status is. And then the Mavs beat the Nets. Looking at the standings really fast, just a bad set of results for the Magic tonight all the way around. Magic fall down to the 8th seed. Fortunately, they do have a 3.5 game lead on the Bulls. They are tied in the standings with Miami as far as record goes, and a game and a half? Yeah, game and a half behind Indiana. The team to watch right now for me is Philly. Philly is free falling. They're free falling. Are they going to free fall enough to where the Magic can potentially pass them? I don't know. Probably not. I mean, 4 games is a lot, but we're about to hit this stretch here. Very winnable Magic games. It's possible. You never know. You never know. Chat, giving you some final thoughts here. Thanks, Praises says Chuma for Doncic. Who says no? I don't know. Anomalous. Let's keep him around. Yeah, Nick says Gary Harris had good looks from threes and didn't connect. We need more reliable dudes. That's what's tough is Gary was the definition of reliable coming into this season. For us, for Denver, that's what Gary Harris was known for, reliability. And he's not been reliable this season. It hurts, man. I mean, that's what you pay him for. That's why he's there, to be reliable, to do those things. And he just hasn't been this season. Really, really need him to be better. Some people suggesting Anthony Simons deal. That'd be incredible. Some people suggesting, what was the other one I saw? I don't see it now, but earlier there was talks about Luke Kennard. I can't remember the third one I saw, but either way, lots of interesting ideas. And I just have no idea. I have no idea. Jesus says, where's the chemistry and energy tonight, though, Kev? You're right. Straight from the jump. Nothing. It was not there. It's just not there. Like, show some fight, even if you're not playing well, right? Like, this team has done this really well in large stretches of the season. Even if you're not playing well, like, have some energy, have some fight, have some hustle, have some pride. Like, don't let a guy just get straight to the rim. Like, I don't care. Foul him. Make him murder him at the line. Like, do something, you know? It's rough. All right, guys. Thursday. Another one of those must wins against a totally inferior opponent. Obviously, you took care of business against San Antonio last week. Not without a slow start, though, right? Just like tonight, a slow start. Magic ended up pulling away in that game, win comfortably. But like, maybe let's not do that. Maybe let's not start slow on Thursday. Maybe let's just start strong. Maybe let's win on Thursday. That'd be fun. Yeah, that'd be really fun. It's a big game. You got to win it. Thursday, Spurs. Saturday, Chicago. Then we have the fun week next week with OKC and New York home back-to-back, which will be fun. Well, hopefully it's fun. we'll see. We'll see. That's going to do it tonight, guys. That's been fun tonight. Glad to be back with you. Big shout out to Jonathan for hosting Sunday's show. I'll be back with you Thursday night after the San Antonio game. I'll be back with way more energy because the Magic will have won, hopefully. Knock on wood. Jonathan and Luke will be back for the next episode of the Sixth Man Show Thursday morning. And the trade deadline Thursday afternoon at 3 p.m. So follow the Sixth Man Show everywhere for all coverage of that. We'll see you on Thursday. Until then, let's go Magic.